Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Better Family Life Culture, Education, and Business Center. My name is Ryan Palmer. I'm a senior outreach worker outreach specialist here at Better Family Life. The outreach team is a very motivated team of men and women, some whom are volunteers. We view ourselves as the tip of the spear for changing our more challenging neighborhoods. We spend many hours, six days a week, to engage citizens in our more challenging neighborhoods. I am proud to serve as a member of Better Family Life Community Outreach Department. From January to August 2015, we have engaged 4,740 households. We have had 446 participants in our open enrollment. We had 5 different zip codes. We referred 1,256 clients within our open enrollment. And 139 individuals have benefited from our open enrollment session. 12 who are gainfully employed, 45 in which have received drug treatment and is now revamping their lives. 33 who have received and now are healthcare insured, also dental and vision. 22 have received utility assistance, and 67 have received legal assistance. And also, we have had 44 participants who are now currently enrolled in an educational institution. Now, I want to ask Reverend Carl Smith, Senior Pastor, New Beginning Missionary Baptist Church, to come up and lead us in a prayer.
Every head bowed, every eye closed. Gracious and eternal God, we thank you for this gathering today. We thank you for the blessing of the weather. But most of all, we thank you for your son, Jesus. We want to thank you for the vision, Brother James Clark, the leadership, Brother Ahmed. Father God, we thank you for our city leaders, our city fathers. Master, I thank you for this concept, from the pulpit to the porches. Yes. Thank you, oh God, for the vision to speak to your people, to come from behind those 4 walls, to walk these streets, to find out what the needs are of your people. And we thank you now for what has already taken place. Yes. But we thank you even more for what's about to happen. Yes. We thank you for healing. We thank you for deliverance. So, Master, just have your way. Transform this city, transform this community into a peaceful and a safe place. And this we ask in Jesus' name. Amen.
Now I have the privilege and opportunity to introduce our Vice President of the Youth and Family Services, Ms. Miranda Jones. She has been working hard, her and the youth department, of serving over 5,000 youth throughout the year. Come on up, Ms. Miranda Jones.
Welcome. I have the honor of being your MC today, and I bring you greetings on behalf of Better Family Life. What a glorious day. God is obviously smiling on us today. So I think we found favor and we're doing the right thing. All right. I have the privilege. We're going to go right into the program this morning. I have the honor and privilege to bring up our mayor, Francis Slay, who is the 45th mayor of the city of St. Louis, the first to be elected 4 consecutive terms. Now, he's one of 11 children, so I think he knows something about better family life. Okay. Mayor Slay is also in the Mayors Against Illegal Guns Coalition, and he is just doing everything he can to try to make our streets more peaceful and make this city better for all of its residents. I have the privilege and again the honor to bring up our mayor, Mayor Francis Slay.
Well, thank you and good morning. First of all, it's always a pleasure for me to be here at Better Family Life. I remember coming through this old school building at the time when there was the vision that Malik and his team had in turning this into a very, very outstanding asset for our community. And it's always great to be with so many wonderful St. Louisans who are part of a Better Family Life. Malik and your entire team, thank you so much for all you do for our community. And thank you to the outreach team in particular, James Clark and everyone that works with him here, reaching out in the community to help providing better opportunities for people in our community. Better Family Life does a great, great job. I'm here with a couple of people I need to recognize. Richard Gray, who is our Director of Public Safety for the City of St. Louis. And someone you'll hear from in a little bit will be Melba Moore, who is our Health Director, who is with us this morning. And of course, Chief Dotson as well, who will say a few words. But good morning. Good morning. It is really good to be here. In just a few hours, the Ferguson Commission will release the results of months of hard work, its calls to action for our entire region. The City of St. Louis is listening. We will use the Commission's report as a blueprint to continue to build on strong policies and initiatives in the City of St. Louis. One of the report's major components is that it asks all of us to put youth at the center. It asks us to support sustained citizen-led efforts to develop safe neighborhoods, particularly efforts of parents and families impacted by violence, and clergy working to build community and keep watch. So we are. Today I am proud to announce that the City of St. Louis is increasing its funding to Better Family Life to support its Neighborhood Alliance model to help reduce crime. Our ongoing partnership with them is part of our violence reduction plan to intervene in disputes before they go too far. Better Family Life is directly involved in reaching out to people who may not know what kind of help is out there for them and their families. Preachers and pastors are taking their message from behind the pulpit to the porches of our neighborhoods. Former self-described gangbangers are using their experience to influence younger neighbors to choose a different path and a better future for themselves. Because we recognize gun violence as a public health crisis, the city's health department is contributing $40,000 to support Better Family Life's efforts. And the St. Louis Police Department is using asset forfeiture money to contribute an additional $20,000 to the effort. This comes on top of the $55,000 contribution I announced to Better Family Life this past March. We believe that this community outreach goes hand to hand with community policing, and we believe that this door-to-door outreach is something that's absolutely essential to making sure that we do everything we can to make the resources available to those who need it the most. Reducing violence needs all hands on deck, and that's a lot of what you're seeing today. People who want to help individuals, families, and entire neighborhoods. So I want to thank James Clark and Better Family Life for being a role model and for carrying the message and resources into homes, neighborhoods, churches, and social circles. And I want to thank the 121 churches and church leaders participating in Better Family Life's Pulpits to Porches, and I want to thank the resource providers who serve as the referral network to help families. Together, we will make this neighborhood and the city of St. Louis overall better for families. Gun violence impacts all of us. The work to combat it is not easy, but I am encouraged by the strong collaboration we now have in place and early signs of success that we have seen. With that, let me turn it over to Chief Sam Dodson. Chief.
Good morning. On one hand, I'm glad to be standing here this morning with our community and our city government partners. But on the other hand, I'm saddened because we're here because of the violence our city is seeing. And as I look out in the audience, I recognize familiar faces from mothers in charge, from the families of the victims of the violence that our city has seen. And I'm disheartened to know that as we're standing here, our homicide detectives are working on the 145th murder in our city this year. As I've said many times before, community partnerships are the key in combating crime. Community-oriented policing starts with the community, and that's what we're here to talk about today. The Metropolitan Police Department's partnership with Better Family Life is evidence that we both have common concerns and goals in improving our community. Through programs like Put Down the Pistol, which helps young people see alternatives to violence, the Neighborhood Alliance program, and the Pulpit to Porches, our community is showing a strategic focus on making itself safer. We all want better communities. We all want a better city. Better Family Life is dedicated to building on prosperity and helping families grow in our city. Today, the Metropolitan Police Department is proud to present Better Family Life with a check for $20,000 from asset forfeiture funds. Asset forfeiture funds, money seized from criminals, money taken from those very people who tear at the fabric of our community. The people that make our neighborhoods less safe now are investing in our communities. The money has been earmarked to Better Family Life to continue to provide the great leadership, the social service programs that we've seen, and we must stop killing each other. As I drive around the city and see their signs in every yard is testament of their hard work and their community outreach. Their services and programs truly are making a difference in countless lives and individuals, and especially in our young people. So I say thank you to James Clark and to Malik Ahmed for your vision, for your leadership, for the work of your organization, for the work they've done in the past, and for the work they're going to do in the future, because together we all will make St. Louis a better, safer place. So thank you, James and Malik. And now it's my pleasure to introduce the Acting Director of the Health Department, Ms. Melba Moore.
Good morning. We have heard, we have observed, and we know that gun violence in the United States and in the city of St. Louis is a public health crisis. The loss of life, injuries resulting from this public health threat has a significant impact on families and the community. You've heard about the recent news from our chief. But what's more important, you want to know, what are we doing? Recognizing the impact of gun violence on our community, the City of St. Louis Department of Health has entered into a contract with Better Family Life to provide outreach and community services to reduce and eliminate high rates of violence. So let me explain how this is going to work. We have two contracts, and the most important, significant piece to this is the outreach. If you know anything about public health, you know that you have to go upstream to see what the problem is. We're going upstream because we're going into the community where people are, where they live. We're meeting them where they are. And when we meet them where they are, we're coming to your homes. We're going to ask permission to come in to your home. And during these home visits, there will be a customized data, a collection form that will be utilized to gather information on your needs, what you need, not what I think you need, but what you need, so that we can make sure those services are brought to you so that you can utilize those services. Also, in an effort to improve other health outcomes of our city, we've entered into a contract with Better Family Life for $10,000, which is going to address responsible sexual behavior. And we're going into targeted areas. Better Family Life will establish 6 new HIV testing sites and 4 condom distribution locations. So why Better Family Life? You've heard from me, you've heard from the chief. Better Family Life promotes a positive, innovative family and community changes within the St. Louis metropolitan area. The agency's Neighborhood Alliance and Mobilization Initiative outreach programs have already been successful in reducing violence. Programs that they've introduced in the Penrose neighborhood, there was a 31% decrease in gun crimes and a 44% drop in homicides. That's the news that we want to be portrayed on our news in the evening, that the violence is going down and the incidence of crime is going down. The Hamilton Heights neighborhood saw a 35% decrease in gun crimes, 25% drop in homicides. The Academy neighborhood saw 30% decrease. So when you know that there's a decrease, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Go back and work with the same partners and spread that across our city. The goal of these 2 new partnerships between the Department of Health and Better Family Life is to make the city of St. Louis a healthier place to live by strengthening families and improving neighborhood environments by connections. We're going to make the connections. And the only way we can make those connections is we have to go upstream to see what the problems are and attach the solutions to that. So thank you so much for your time and attention and your belief that we can do this by working together to build a stronger St. Louis City. Thank you. With that being said, I'd like to bring up our partners.
We'd like to thank all of our partners again, and we will assure you that this money will be going towards making sure that our community is best served. I'd like now to bring up our CEO and president of Better Family Life. He founded Better Family Life 32 years ago and has continued to lead this charge. It started with 1 person, and now we have over 200 employees at Better Family Life. I would like to bring up one of the probably, if you guys have not really sat down and talked to Malik Ahmed, you don't know the depth of his knowledge and just where he comes from. And again, he was one of a million kids, so that's why we know about Better Family Life. I think Mayor Slay got him by a couple. No. 1? Oh, he has 12. Mayor Slay had 11. Okay. I'd like to bring up our CEO, Malik Ahmed.
Thank you, Miranda, and thank you, Pastor Smith, for those wonderful words of prayer. And thank you to the great city leaders, Francis Slay, Sam Dotson, and Melva Moore. Thank you for making this presentation to Better Family Life. And before I go on, we are in the 26th Ward, and we think that we have the greatest alderman of the 26th Ward in the person of Frank Williamson. Please stand up, Frank. Frank has been supportive of us on every initiative that we have ventured in over the last 15 or so years, even before he was the alderman. So we are very thankful that he's present today. This press conference is twofold: to end violence in our community and to redevelop Page Boulevard. And the question is, why does it matter? Why does the ending of violence in our community and the redevelopment of Page Boulevard matter? For those of you who live in the suburbs, I want to take a quote out of the report from the Ferguson Commission. If you live in a safe suburb and you got a good job and you got health insurance and you never worry about your kids and you don't wonder if you will get pulled over because of the color of your skin, then maybe the status quo is working just fine for you. But for thousands of St. Louisans, the status quo is killing us and them. The status quo means living in a food desert with no grocery stores for miles around. The status quo means sending your children to underperforming schools that get fewer resources but dole out more punishment. The status quo means driving in fear of a court system that will put you in jail for failure to pay court tickets. That's their quote. Now I'm gonna just delineate some other things. It means few places of employment in your own community. It means being surrounded by abandoned and dilapidated buildings. It means having fear and a hostile relationship with law enforcement and believing that the criminal justice system doles out no justice to its African American citizens. It means growing up with no realistic future and expecting to die at a young age. It means becoming hostile and uncaring and moving about in your community in fear of being its next prey or statistic, or deciding to be the predator of other poor, disadvantaged populations. To end violence, we must rebuild communities. I said to end violence, we must rebuild communities. This is why Better Family Life chose to put our stakes on Page Boulevard in this West End neighborhood. This area isn't Ferguson, Missouri. This area has all of what creates Ferguson, Missouri. Abandoned buildings, poor prospects of economic opportunities, high crime statistics, overrepresentation of single-parent households, overrepresentation of residents under the jurisdiction and control of the criminal justice system. These are the ingredients that produces the Fergusons of the world. If we are serious about the 189 recommendations made by the Forward Through Ferguson, a Path Towards Racial Equity report, we will start here, right here on Page Boulevard in North St. Louis. BFL desires to acquire over 100 abandoned residential properties from the city and transform them into affordable and market rate housing. Housings like the house that you see right across the street that we've just acquired. We want to engage in all of the churches on the corridor to engage in a serious 100% assault on crime. We want to bring commercial investment to the corridor and link up with the progressive works being done to the east by Rankin Institute and to our west by Beyond Housing Incorporate. We want Page Boulevard to be the change that African Americans can see, touch, feel, and be an integral part of. We want Page Boulevard to be an area where our youth can thrive, work, be safe, and enjoy recreational opportunities. We want Page Boulevard to be an environment that helps transform the regions by linking up with the progressive work of Friendly Temple Church on Martin Luther King and moving the needle northward. We want to see this divide that have polarized our community eliminated in the not too distant future. So our community outreach department is doing the hard work of engaging community residents, but we want the corporate community, we want civic progress, we want the individuals in the community to take this work seriously by investing time and energy and resources in this entire boulevard. If the 26th Ward can make the change, all of North St. Louis can make the change. Thank you very much.
Are y'all ready to see change? Yes. I think he just made the call for change. I'd like to bring up our next speaker. You all know him. I know him affectionately as my brother James, but he is the leading advocate right now of violence prevention in the St. Louis area. And I am so proud of the work that he's doing. He does this work every day in his sleep. This is real for him. It's not just I'm on TV. This is real every day. And I'd like to bring him up. His name is Brother James Clark.
Good morning, everyone. I first want to start by giving thanks and honor to God, who is the giver and the sustainer of all of our lives. Then I want to thank God for continuing to see fit to use Better Family Life as an instrument of change here in the St. Louis metropolitan area and then for the United States of America. We believe that what we're doing here is time for, and this is a simple solution. We've got to engage those who have been disconnected from resources for far too long. I then want to thank Mayor Slay, Chief Sam Dotson, and I want to give a heartfelt thanks to Sister Melba Moore, because sometimes people have a position and it's a job, and they sometimes work as a gatekeeper. They always have a reason why something cannot be done. But Sister Melba Moore, with the health department, she's a gateway. She's opening the doors so that our issues can be brought to the forefront and they can be directly addressed. So I want to thank Sister Melba Moore for all that she's done and all that she continues to do. You know, I am going to be brief. I want to just let it be known that this is not a victory for Better Family Life. This is not a victory for Better Family Life. This is a victory for the single mothers raising children with no support in the neighborhood. This is a victory for families who have drug-addicted relatives and they've just watched their lives spiral out of control. This is a victory for young boys and young girls who do not have mentors at their immediate access. This is a victory for our senior citizens who cannot come outside to get a breath of fresh air, who are living literally as prisoners in their own neighborhoods. This is a victory for our more challenged neighborhoods. Now, the fact of the matter is, while these contributions are very much appreciated, we need much more. See, this represents a small amount that's needed for this massive crisis that we face today. These resources will allow us to put 3 more outreach workers in the field immediately, going door to door. But brothers and sisters, we have calculated this thing and we need 50 outreach workers going door to door in our more challenged neighborhoods. We need 50 outreach workers, men and women who are from the neighborhoods, who understand the culture. Family, we've spent too much time analyzing this thing. We've spent too much time with focus groups. We've spent too much time putting together reports and putting together thick manuals that do nothing more than collect dust. We've got to become more aggressive, and we've got to put boots to the ground in our more challenged neighborhoods. This problem does not fix itself, and today there is no solution in our neighborhoods. This offers us a solution. And Brother Malik, this is the reality of it. Changing this thing is like having a big ship. And this ship has been sailing in the same direction for over 40 years. This big ship now has as its flagship a dome stadium. My brother, this ship now has as a flagship the trolley that's slated for the Central West End or for the Delmore Loop. This ship now has slated as its flagship all the new hospital development going on in the Central West End. It's been traveling in this direction and it's going full steam ahead. What we're attempting to do now is just shift the direction a little bit. You see, Reverend Nance, this is not a Porsche that has rack and pinion steering, where you can just do that and it changes direction. This contribution allows us to turn the ship just a little bit. We have a lot of work to do. In order for St. Louis to move forward, in order for America to move forward, we must address the depth of the dysfunction that's in our more challenged neighborhoods. We must address it in the neighborhood, on the front porches, and in the living rooms. You see, crime and violence, those are the only two things that make it to the social landscape. Those are the only two things that we get a visual picture of. There was a young boy shot right across the street just last night. We are here today with Sister Jones, whose daughter Whitney was taken from us less than a month ago. We also have here Ms. Hennings. Sister Hennings, can you please stand? Family, Ms. Hennings lost 2 of her sons. Not only that, because of the culture of gun violence in our community, she was a victim of gunshot wounds herself. It's reached an epidemic point. We've got a lot of work to do. I now want to call to the mic as we conclude the alderman of this ward. He was on the program, but he was mistakenly passed over. But I want to give him an opportunity to say just a few words. And then we're also going to call up a gentleman who has benefited from our outreach, Brother Donnell Banks. Alderman.
Thank you, Brother James. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so glad to see you here today. We're very, very blessed to have Better Family Life and this Neighborhood Alliance and Pulpit to the Porches in our community. They're so desperately needed. We have so many lives that need the proper guidance. And we have to start reinvesting in human capital. That's very, very important. So I'm very honored, I'm very blessed. I don't have a check today, but at the same time, I'm very glad and it's very gracious to have so many people that are getting involved to try to help our community. It's very gratifying. So again, God bless you all. Thank you very much. And let's just continue to help our loved ones, our families, young people, young adults. Give them the proper guidance, and that's what it's all about. It's about family, and Better Family Life is showing us that. And I want to thank the city of St. Louis, our mayor, who's doing an excellent job, and our police chief, and all the health department with Mrs. Melba Moore. So give them a great round of applause because they're investing back in our community. Again, thank you. Thank you, Brother Malik. Thank you, Brother James, and God bless you all.
We wanted to make sure that you all had the opportunity to hear from someone who has benefited from the program. So I'd like to bring up Mr. Donnell Banks at this point.
My name is Donnell Banks, and like I said, I love Better Family Life. My father died when I was 3 years old, so my mother did the best she could to raise me. So I really didn't have an example of a male to show me what to do, show me how to do it. But in 2005, when I was lost, I asked God, I looked in the mirror and I asked God to direct me because I saw myself becoming a statistic. And I met with Mr. Clark across from the Western Metrolink station, and he believed in me. And I got my first job at the Renaissance Grand Hotel, and I worked there for 2 years. And you know, along the way, I lost my way, but I found Mr. Clark again, and he took another chance at me, and he listened. And everything he said to me, he kept his promise. That was the first man that said what he meant and meant what he said. I have a 16-year-old son now, and I don't know how to be a father. So I mimic and I see what he does, and I see what Mr. Bush does, and I implement that. Me and my son, we pass out, we must stop killing each other flyers on the weekend, and he strives for that. He knows how to talk to people because of that. He knows how to deal with the public, and that's something that I take pride in. I was given a shot to work at a job called Receivable Solutions. They collect on hospital accounts. And I feel like I'm a pretty good talker, I'm a gifted guy. So I went in there, I presented myself, and now I'm doing good. I've been there for 4 months. Through that, I'm able to take care of my family, I'm able to take care of my wife, and I'm able to show my son that it's a better way than getting out here slinging drugs. It's a better way than conniving, stealing. You work hard for it and you appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody. God bless everybody.
As we conclude the program today, we want to thank all of you all for coming out today. Please visit Juice Masters. They have free smoothies for everyone over there. And we want to make sure that you all, if you need to take a tour of the building, we would love to be able to do that for you. I want to introduce someone to you, and I don't want to ask him to stand up because he has a bad leg right now. We have the Mayor of Wellston here with us today. Mayor of Wellston, can you wave your hand? Actually, we're going to bring him to the mic and let him say a few words.
Basketball player.
I don't give up basketball. How everyone doing? My name is Nate Griffin. I'm the Mayor of Wellston. If you guys can you hear me? Yeah, I've been the mayor since November, and everything James speaks on and Mr. Malik speaks on is the things I believe in. You know, I believe it takes a village to raise a child, and we have to get back to the village. I talk to my community all the time. I talk to the kids, I talk to the clergy, and you know, I speak to the clergy, and I be truthful with them. And I feel that the clergy in our neighborhoods have really let the neighborhoods down, not only the clergies, but the school system. So we have to get it back to where the clergy serve our community, we serve our community, we look out for one another. God bless you not only for what you do, but for the people that you serve and you help along the way. So we must help each other in every way that's possible. It's about doing things together, raising a family, raising kids, being mentors, being a role model, just showing them the different ways and the different things that they need to know to be a man. Again, I was one of those ones that didn't have a father figure in my life. So my mom raised me, my coaches, my teachers, you know, those was the mentors that helped me to believe in myself and believe in my dream. So, you know, anything is possible in this world. The only thing you have to do is believe in yourself, align yourself with the right people, and things will happen for you. You know, it's gracious to be able to not only serve your community, but serve good people who have the exact same interests as you, and that's and community, family. There's nothing more important than those things. So if we can get back to, again, dropping the gun, picking up pencils and books and educating yourself, being mentors to our kids, showing them the right way, teaching them how to believe in each other. But we have lost belief, but it's always an opportunity. So resources is definitely needed in our communities. With resources, with family, with church, with clergy, with togetherness, everything will be okay. So we just must continue to strive for perfection and strive to make our families what we expect them to be. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here.
I like to ask all of the preachers who are involved in the Preachers to Pulpits, Porches to Pulpits, if you guys could stand, all of the pastors and ministers that are involved in the Porches to Pulpit. You guys are doing amazing work. In fact, I was at Snooks and got flyers from one of the churches. You guys are doing some awesome, awesome work. And we are charging you all with making sure that this community comes back.
In conclusion, as we wrap it up with prayer, give a hand to Sister Miranda Jones. You all have got to understand that this is possibly the most forward-thinking program manager in the St. Louis metropolitan area. Sister Miranda Jones, Vice President of Youth and Clinical Service for a Better Family Life. Please give her a round of applause. Now, I will ask Pastor Witherspoon, one of the leading pastors in the Pulpit to Porches program, to say a few words. Immediately following him, you will hear from Reverend Earl Nash Jr., who will close us out with a prayer. Pastor Witherspoon, and then Reverend Earl Nash Jr.
I just want to commend Better Family Life for this very, very viable program and for taking the lead in helping us to deal with the systemic problems in our community. I'm very happy as one of the pastors, gathered with other ministers here, to engage my congregation and others throughout my denomination in the African Methodist Episcopal Zion Church and the Pulpit to Porches. We have been out now for about 3 weeks, and the members are very enthusiastic about being a part of this. In our denomination, we have a very, very viable evangelism program, and so we've been able to couple both of these programs to work in unity and to look for solidarity throughout our community. One thing is for sure, if the black church does not be the black church that it used to be, whereby we help to dictate and to organize in our communities, we will lose our communities. And I'm thankful to collab with all of these ministers, because we know the time is now. We cannot wait. The time is now, and we're enthusiastic about doing it. May God bless you and have a smile upon you.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It is certainly a pleasure to be here today to work with Better Family Life, with Brother Malik Ahmed, Brother James Clark, and all of my fellow colleagues in the ministry. Greater Mount Carmel, our team has been out Saturday after Saturday to dispense with information and interact with the citizens, and we have to say that Pulpit to Porches is working, it's making an impact, and it's bringing people in to get the resources that they need. So we need to continue that. So my closing prayer is simple. Father God, help us to continue to help our children, help our communities, bless our leadership, bless our citizens that we may be safe. Keep us from all hurt, harm, and danger. And please help us to help our children. Now may the love of God and the sweet communion of His Holy Spirit rest, rule, and abide with us henceforth, now, and forever. Amen. God bless you and thank you.